Good afternoon and aloha. It is really my sincere privilege to deliver my first State of the City address to our City Council members and fellow residents all across Oahu. You know, it was just 1 year ago that we entered a period unlike any we had ever experienced before. Quite simply, our lives were changed in ways none of us could have ever imagined. Now, we've had to work with each other as we fought through this pandemic, and together, you have made it possible to move into Tier 3 of the reopening strategy. And just last week, we were able to introduce a number of positive modifications, including getting team sports back on the fields. Now, this is a tremendous step forward for our kids, families, and businesses. You know, it truly has been an experience we will never forget, and one we never want to repeat. Today, we are finally able to visit family and friends, but while using caution. And many people have returned to work, but still not enough. We have to do everything possible we can to get our businesses reopened. It is true that more businesses are able to operate, but not to their full potential. We want and need more. That said, Honolulu's case counts, positivity rates, and hospitalizations are the best in the country. No other city our size has numbers that compares to our numbers. And this week, we will achieve another milestone together as we approach having 500,000 vaccinations statewide. But this is only the starting point on our journey to a brighter future. And before talking about that brighter future, I must say thank you to all of the first responders, emergency management personnel, police officers, firefighters, EMS staff, and our National Guard members for their tireless work ethic and commitment to keeping the community safe. And thank you to all of our dedicated healthcare workers, with a special word of appreciation and deep gratitude to Queens Medical Center and Hawaii Pacific Health for the amazing job that they did in caring for patients and saving lives. You are a huge reason why Hawaii is the best in the nation. And I would also like to thank all the unsung heroes in our community, people like our custodians who are cleaning and sanitizing more frequently than ever before, farm workers who continue to grow and harvest the food that goes on our tables, and the countless grocery store and retail employees who help make sure we have everything we need. And thank you to the caring volunteers who worked on the food lines, successfully distributing millions of pounds of food, and to the many organizations for their incredible generosity in collecting the donations that our families really needed. You know, I honestly don't have the words to adequately describe the positive difference your unselfish efforts have made to so many in need. My most sincere mahalo. I want to talk a little bit about our cabinet. I've been asked many times, what has been my biggest surprise now that I have become mayor? Well, the answer leads me directly to what I stated consistently throughout our campaign, which would be to assemble an exceptional team of smart thinkers, people of action, and most especially, people who would embrace the leadership challenges of being held responsible and accountable for their work. Beginning with Mike Formby's decision to accept the critical role of becoming our managing director, we have been most fortunate to assemble an exceptional team of diverse, highly experienced, and accomplished men and women who share a commitment to create a better future for our island home. All of them are strong and trustworthy leaders capable of bringing out the very best in people. In this very difficult moment in time, we knew we had to find men and women of high character and integrity who would not fade or quit against the many known and unknown challenges we undoubtedly face today and tomorrow. But we also knew that despite their strong individual accomplishments, they needed to be team players capable of the much anticipated collaboration we will need in order to work through the complexity of our city's operations. So my surprise, the great surprise, comes with an incredible sense of pride in how fast they have come together as a team, and especially their ability to work together. Now, we have brought in more than 40 truly remarkable people to lead the already outstanding and dedicated workforce who currently serve our city. And with them comes an unprecedented infusion of passion, resourcefulness, and commitment to better our communities. So despite the difficult and challenging road ahead, I could not be more confident in what this team will do for our city. I want to address the budget. Our team's first order of business in our business plan was developing the city's operating plan. And we presented our budget to the City Council on March 2nd. That was $73 million less than what was proposed last year. But our team has not been focused on what we don't have. We're focused on getting things done with what we do have. We know and greatly appreciate how valuable our employees are, and we are committed to no furloughs. We're also able to work with this budget without raising property taxes. And we will maintain delivering on our core city services because we plan to improve on the never-ending battle of fixing our countless potholes. You know, we've made difficult decisions, part of which was implementing a hiring freeze, except when it comes to public safety and our first responders. And we've challenged ourselves to work smartly in every sector of the city where every dollar spent is justified. That said, we know there are plenty of people out there without enough money and who are living on the streets. And we are committed to confronting the homeless issues that are impacting so many of our communities. And so first, we need to own the challenge. Our plan is to expand the City Office of Housing into the Office of Housing and Homelessness. And that means more resources and more solutions to tackle this crisis. And second, we needed and now have the leadership with an inclusive vision to bring solutions to the community. You know, we must get our families, our children, and our people off the streets. We must prevent people from going into homelessness in the first place. With the unsheltered homeless population now exceeding the sheltered, we need new ideas and new vision, and we are committed to this cause. The same old tired solutions to our affordable housing crisis is clearly not the answer. It hasn't worked for more than 30 years. You know, historically, government has not been good about building affordable housing. You know, it takes a long time and a lot of money to get off the ground, and candidly, it has not been profitable. But instead, why not incentivize private landowners to build inventory for us at a reasonable rate per unit? Earlier this year, we introduced a bill proposing a pilot program to incentivize private landowners to build affordable housing units anywhere on Oahu. Now, this keeps the affordable rental inventory growing through partnerships with our landowners. And we believe it's a win-win for everyone. Now, you're also going to be hearing more about the rent and utility relief program within the next month. We will be using $114 million in federal funds in rent and utility relief money for qualifying residents. And this program will pay rent and utility bills. And it can provide up to 12 months of financial help, depending on a person's financial situation. We're excited about that. We know it's going to make a difference. Now, one other highlight is the frequently stalled Hale project. Well, it is back on the table, and it will be an affordable senior living center with 155 units in Chinatown. And we are determined to get it built. So I want to say a couple of words about Chinatown. We believe Chinatown is a hidden gem with so much potential that has been terribly neglected. We toured the area a few weeks ago to speak directly with the residents, business owners, and stakeholders. Now, we've made plans to make a new Chinatown that we can all be proud of. And we already have projects planned that will improve lighting, repave roadways, and fix areas that are prone to flooding. You know, I could say a lot more, but I want our actions to speak for themselves, and I will just simply leave it at that. Now, the biggest thing we face, one of the biggest challenges, is the rail. It's the biggest project. It now faces, as reported, a $3 billion budget shortfall. Our top priority is simply to close the funding gap. A new leadership team is in place, and we are meeting with them weekly. We are instituting fiscal responsibility in every phase of the operation and taking the necessary steps to reduce those costs. Now, we have already identified a number of inefficiencies. We've canceled redundant contracts, and we have eliminated positions. The project is also being re-engineered with a fresh perspective, especially along the Dillingham corridor. You know, shifting the route slightly will prevent the costly relocation of utilities. However, it will take the cooperation with landowners to make it happen. But fortunately, there is a tremendous level of support for the project with our state government and in Washington, D.C., which we are most grateful for. Simply said, we must find the critical path forward for the rail project, and we will, with transparency in mind. Now, one of our top priorities is modernizing our city services. As I said before, we're in the second year of the third decade of the 21st century, and quite honestly, our technology has been lacking. Now, we fully recognize that the Department of Planning and Permitting is critical to the construction industry. It can either stunt or stimulate our economy. So we embraced the challenge coming into office and the mandate to vastly improve the Department of Planning and Permitting. And we will overhaul the whole system and bring the building permit process into the 21st century. Our new computerized system will allow us to go paperless. And one of the great features of the new system will be transparency for users, so people can check their permit status online. Now, we believe this will also speed up the process so contractors can get to work faster. Now, in addition, the permitting department will step up its enforcement over landowners who disregard and violate city building and land use code ordinances. And of that, we are committed. I'm also very pleased to tell you that our Department of Information Technology is already making state-of-the-art improvements to better serve you. IT has created a new payment facility called HNL Pay. And for the first time, you can pay for your city permits, licenses, and applications electronically. And in addition, the Liquor Commission is also able to take appointments for business licenses and server training remotely. You know, the pandemic also inspired and exposed the need to make changes to our phone and online services. Our Department of Customer Services is developing more progressive operating practices by eliminating inefficiencies. For example, the department was receiving more than 3,900 calls each day. Many of these calls came from the same person, booking multiple appointments, trying to ensure they, in fact, would get an actual appointment to renew a driver's license. So just last week, we implemented a new phone system that has already improved the call answer rate, which dropped the number of repeat callers by more than 1,000 a day. And our Customer Services Department is also eliminating the extraordinary backlog of vehicle registrations created by the COVID shutdown by having our employees work overtime to meet the demand. And this year, we'll be launching the DOORS program, with our auto dealers. Now, this program will cut out unnecessary delays and long waiting periods, allowing dealers to register new cars and provide license plates at the dealership at the time of the purchase. So with more technology being used, we have also unleashed a new centralized data center opened in the basement of the Fosse building. The old, obsolete system was 50 years old. Hard to believe. The new system is now scanning more than 20,000 documents a week, 24/7, while providing faster networks and moving us into a paperless future. And most importantly, to ensure safe and efficient travel, we are focusing on better traffic management and upgrading the stoplights to help with the flow of traffic. We are installing and investing fiber optic networks to better connect the entire island, and especially to historically underserved communities like Maili, Waianae, and Nanakuli. We're very excited about being able to connect all of that together. I want to talk about climate change, but before I do, I would be remiss, a week after, less than a week, just days after the flood damage that we experienced, not just in Haleiwa, but down to Haua and Laie, and our hearts go out to the families. You know, the sun has come back out, and maybe some of the tourists are back there in Haleiwa eating, shave ice, but the truth of the matter is, a lot of the homes and the side streets have been damaged in ways that are just going to take a long time to fix and repair. And we're committed to having the city and county do everything we possibly can to assist in that in collaboration with state and federal and whomever else we can get. And so we offer our support in the most sincere way. So we must protect the island from the devastating impacts of climate change, which is already happening. Responding to climate change is twofold: eliminating carbon pollution through decarbonization, and most of all, preparing our communities for a changing environment to climate change. The flooding we saw just last week is a powerful example. From sea level rise, rain bombs, and increasing temperatures, we're taking steps toward a climate-ready Oahu. It is a pivot in a new direction. We are shifting from talking about policy to doing something about it. For example, we are investing in drainage and flood management improvements at various locations island-wide, so to better protect our communities and city facilities, including things like channel wall reconstruction, dredging our streams and lagoons, and reconstructing debris basins, and also assessing the drainage outfalls, which is where the water flows into the ocean. We're also designing a new tree farm for the Department of Parks and Recreation Division of Urban Forestry at the Patsy T. Mink Central Oahu Regional Park. And we are convening an interdepartmental One Water panel to address climate adaptation. Now, a main focus for our team is working to maximize funding opportunities and find more ways to supplement city revenue. So led by the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability and Resiliency, city agencies are working with state and federal partners in new ways to address disaster risk. And this year, we'll be working on almost $2 million worth of innovative planning, design, and risk analysis through FEMA grants. For example, engineering assessments designed to hurricane retrofits for city-owned facilities to serve as emergency shelters. Updated flood hazard analysis to ensure we have the best information possible on flood risk. Long-term disaster recovery planning to update city policy programs, and we are going to update our shoreline management rules to protect our beaches and public safety island-wide. So with all of this, the city remains a clean energy leader, and we will actively work to attract funding to meet local needs with renewed focus on climate resilience and equity at the federal level. So simply put, threw out a big word there, decarbonization. That's the reduction of fossil fuels from energy, buildings, transportation, and waste. So as we're preparing for the impacts of climate change, decarbonizing the economy will accelerate the economic recovery and add clean jobs and innovation to create healthier and safer communities. So in meeting our city and state targets of decarbonization, we will lower long-term risk and enhance our safety, promote energy security, and keep billions of dollars on island. Our administration is committed to creating and nurturing partnerships because it will take all of us to create a healthy, safe, and prosperous future for Oahu. I'd like to close by once again acknowledging our incredible team of men and women who have come forward to lead the city during this most challenging time. They have my every confidence and sincere gratitude for their commitment to serve. And I commit to you that I will work with the City Council, the state and federal delegations, and the military to maximize efforts and work together for one Oahu. You know, in team sports, there is a saying that great things happen when no one cares who gets the credit. Our team brings that mentality to the city because we will make our island better together. Thank you, and aloha.